Hello, everyone. My name is Kaushik Tudakia, and my research is on drug price and patient care quality. So, the problem I was researching, um, as many of you all know, the cost of prescription drugs here in America are very high, and they are continuing to increase every single day. And going down this path is not only unsustainable, but also very dangerous, as it affects everyone part of our healthcare system. And this affects everyone, but what I want to focus on are the patients. So my hypothesis is that there's a negative correlation between drug cost and patient care quality. The null hypothesis being that there is no correlation between drug cost and patient care quality. So the organization I decided to do this experiment at was CVS Pharmacy, which obviously you guys know is a retail pharmacy throughout the U.S. And just a little bit about the organization, its purpose is to help people on their path to better health. They want to create unmatched human connections to transform the healthcare experience, and as you guys can see, those are their five values of their company. And the reason I chose this company was because I wanted to get the opinion directly from people as they were picking up their prescriptions at the pharmacy. So this research method was a non-experimental research. It was a survey questionnaire, as I mentioned, handed out to customers of CVS Pharmacy who came in and they were given the option to take a survey while they were in the process of receiving their medication. So my first data analysis was on the measure of central tendency, which in my case was the mean. So the mean of question one regarding the importance of drug costs was 3.4. This indicates that all participants of the survey believe drug cost is important. In fact, of the 30 respondents, all chose between agree and strongly agree. This does fall in line with previous research that drug cost is an important topic for everyday Americans. Looking at question three was in regard to patient care quality, and the average suggested a negative trend. The mean of 1.93 showed that most people believe they are not receiving adequate benefits as drug costs increase, but instead their benefits are decreasing. A consequence of this data is often foregoing a medication. This often leads to further problems for a patient and suggests that the American healthcare system, specifically relating to drug costs, needs a lot of necessary changes. The mean of all the questions suggests this to be true as well. Now, looking at questions 8, 10, and 11, they aim to seek the viewpoint of the participants regarding big pharmaceutical companies. The means of those questions correspond to the idea that pharmaceutical companies are too powerful in their current state and that changes are necessary to benefit the patients. Without such a change, drug prices will have no chance of ever decreasing. So a chi-square test was also conducted to see if the hypothesis can be accepted. The variables that were tested were drug cost importance and benefit patients received. So for the chi-square value, we obtained a 1.513 and a p-value of 0.824. Due to the p-value being well above the alpha value of 0.05, we failed to reject the null hypothesis and cannot accept the alternative hypothesis that there is a negative correlation between drug cost and patient care quality. And with insufficient evidence to reject the null, the research must be conducted on a much larger scale to verify the validity of the study. But it's important to note while existing research suggests that drug prices are affecting people, it may not be the only cause that is leading to a decrease in patient care quality. So clearly, additional research must be done. So to test the true correlation between the variables of drug cost, we did a Pearson correlation R value test, and we obtained a R value of 0.137 and with a two-tailed significance of 0.47. The Pearson value of 0.137 suggests a very weak positive correlation. However, it is closer to a value of 0, confirming that there is no association between the two variables. Therefore, if the cost of drugs increase, one cannot deduce with much certainty that patient care quality will decrease. Now, I also conducted a Pearson-R correlation regarding the importance of drug cost and the 4 government-related initiatives. Um, and it resulted in quite a surprising result. So all 4 of the questions showed a Pearson correlation value close to 0, which also suggested that there is no correlation between drug cost and transparency, competition, and purchasing power, which according to previous research, was shown to be one of the factors that people believed has led to the increase in drug costs. So it's possible that, due to the low sample size, that there is no correlation, but again, it will require further testing. I also looked to see if there was a correlation between the gender and the variables of drug costs and patient care quality. And just like all the other previous data, um, the data showed that there is no correlation between the variables, as we received a negative 0.055 and a p-value of 0.755, which again is well above the alpha value of 0.05. Looking at the one sample t-test, we received a p-value of 0.281, which is greater than the 95% alpha value, 0.05, which suggests that we are not sure 95% of the time that the two means are significantly different. This also suggests that the sample population is not a true representation of the overall population. However, the data still fell in line with our overall hypothesis, as the data showed that all respondents either chose to agree or strongly agree. And finally, an ANOVA test was conducted to determine whether those who took medications regularly or not believed that the cost of drugs was proportional to the benefits they received. As with the t-test conducted, previous studies have suggested that people who regularly take prescription drugs face the most problems and therefore do not believe that the benefits are proportional. So if we look at the table on the left of the descriptives, those who took medications regularly, as exhibited by responses agree and strongly agree, had low means of 1.87 and 1.88 respectively. So this corresponds to the belief that the respondents do not receive the proper benefits necessary. Even those who were neutral did not receive proportional benefits. However, those who did take the medication daily, who chose disagree, showed a high average of 3.0, suggesting that they did believe that the benefits were proportional to the drug cost. It is possible that because they do not regularly take medications, that they do not deal with copayments as often as others do, and therefore do not ever face paying high copays due to these deductibles. So looking at the ANOVA test, we received an F score of 1.243 and a p-value of 0.314, which again, I know it sounds very repetitive, but just like all our other data, it is not statistically significant and we cannot reject the null hypothesis. So again, this is most likely due to a small sample size and it would require a larger population. So in conclusion, our data is not statistically significant. So this topic on whether drug prices decrease patient care quality is something that needs to be further researched, because right now there's a lot of contradiction with, uh, you know, previous research that suggests that there are certain factors that affect drug costs, and there are other effects that, bring down patient care quality. So this definitely needs to be looked into more detail. And a large part of this just really depends on a larger sample size so that we can get a better indication of whether the data is truly representation of the entire population. So that concludes my research. Thank you very much.